when you're courting someone, you will love them because that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you are present in the moment with that person. But when you got your mate, when you got your husband, your wife, it's like, man, I can go to the moon now. And it's like I can just love freely. It's just like I can give my all and just feel good about it, because that's one thing I wanted to do, is just find somebody to say, dang, baby, I just want to love you. And it feels good because it's when you have someone genuine like that, it's just an amazing feeling, because it's like, again, I have a big heart, and I wanted someone to just love and love me the way that I wanted to love. And it's like now I don't have to hold back. It's just I have my baby here.
With the move, it was to elevate us and then also push us into our purpose. And for us, I feel as God led us to, it's for couples to be able to pour into couples.
Yeah, we haven't really been very vocal about all the things that we have been through, but God always seems to direct us towards a couple that may be experiencing maybe one of the things that we have walked through and have conquered it. And I feel like why would we go through this if it was not to be a testimony for somebody else, to show like, we're still together. And if I can say, like, I'm happier now than during the dating phase, leading up to the courtship and the wedding, like, I'm happier now than I was in the beginning of our marriage.
I would say my aha moment was when I got sick, because I wasn't expecting to be sick. Like, I had been strong through everything that you could have possibly imagined. Like, I knew how to be strong. I knew how to be weak. I knew how to be loving and caring. And when I got sick, I lied. I lied for almost 2 years. I hid it. I would go to the doctor on my lunch break. I would get my treatments on holidays. I would take a half a day at work and spend half a day at the hospital or doctor's office. And I would, cover myself in when the disease, broke out my skin or changed my facial features, I would hide it. And I didn't tell my husband, anybody for that matter, for 2 years, until I got so sick that the doctor had to call my husband because I couldn't drive. And he just looked at me and he asked me, why didn't I tell him? And I think it was a matter of accepting that I was sick. I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to believe it. There was no reason for me to be sick. I had done everything that was expected of me, asked of me, put before me. I never made God second to anything, so why am I sick? And because I wasn't ready to accept that, I wasn't, or telling people and him that I was sick was almost like I was accepting a fate that I didn't want. I didn't want that to be a part of my life. And I was more fearful that, what if he wasn't as strong as I was when he was sick? What if he doesn't have the nurturing type of spirit that I had? What if he feels he just owes me and he's just going to take care of me because I took care of him? And by the time that I had gotten so sick that I couldn't hide it, I had no choice. I had to sit down and let God take me where I needed to go, and so I could see that I shouldn't have been doubting this man in the first place. And when I was at my lowest and I was ready to say, I quit. I don't want to fight. I don't want to do this. It hurts. It's painful. I could just die and be over with it. God said, if I wanted to take you, you would have already been gone. These doctors, they didn't give you your due date. They don't give you your expiration date. And you need to use the people that I put in your life. And for me, that was like a realization that I thought I was ready for, but I wasn't. And I had to trust this man with everything. I had nothing left. I didn't have energy. I barely had hair. I was down bad, and God said, just lay it down. That's why he's here. Let him do what he was created to do. And when I did that, I got a fight and a power. I drew from his strength and his energy and everything. Because I wish I could sit here and tell you that my faith in God was so strong that I just knew my disease, I was going to walk away from it and be perfect. That wasn't the case. I was upset. I was hurt. I wasn't trusting in God, because I just felt that it was almost like a punishment. Like I must have done something to deserve this. And by the time I was ready to share it with my husband, I was set in my mind that it was something that I was paying for. And he just sat me down. He said, what if it's something that God wanted me to show you, that I can take care of you the way you took care of me, and you being sick is my opportunity to show you that I'm here forever. And I hadn't looked at it that way. So for him to step up and say, listen, you're looking at it as a bad thing, but for me, it's my opportunity to take care of you and to help you fight and to help you push through, because there's something on the other side for us. Like, this is just, we can deal with this.
My aha moment would be, I'm going to say before. Before. I'm going to say before we renewed our vows. After 10 years of marriage, after 10 years of reflecting back on who I had become, you can hear it from your spouse. You know what I'm saying? You can hear it, and you hear it all the time, and then it sounds like a broken record, but you get a moment in that quiet space, and you get an opportunity to sit and just to think about what's being said, and then evaluate yourself and be like, okay, who I've become is not who I want to be. And I want to be better. As a husband, you want to be a better husband. You want to be a better provider. You want to be a better father if you have children. I had to reevaluate me. And once I did that, my purpose in marriage was a little bit clearer, because I saw all my shortcomings. I was told all my shortcomings, but
It's communication, baby.
yeah. I was told all my shortcomings, and then, like I said, you got to man up and be like, okay, yeah, I could kick back on that. I could chill on that. But my aha moment was that moment of saying, yeah, I want to continue in this union. I want to continue in this marriage. I want us to be together forever. Making that conscious decision to be better for our relationship. That was my moment. That was my aha moment. And then knowing that together, we're much better together. We're much stronger together. We can accomplish a whole lot more together. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Aha.
So I would say understanding what Barry needed from me. And that took me not being selfish.
What was that sound effect?
That took me not being selfish, thinking about who I was supposed to be to him, as far as being a helpmeet, as far as knowing what his purpose is in God and in this life, and how I was supposed to cater to that. So I would say getting me out of the way, and knowing my purpose as a wife helped our purpose as a couple, or is helping our purpose as a couple to be fulfilled. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So who he is, as far as his personality, not saying that I don't have a personality, or that I'm, what I want to do doesn't matter, but he completes my purpose and I complete his purpose. I can say it like that because who he is in God, as far as, you know, the musician, the way people want to connect and communicate with him. I would say that together, as far as our personalities, our integrity, our love for people, makes our purpose. I believe kind of that our purpose is for people, to love on people, to you know, even with couples. And our bishop did tell us one time, he said that, you know, couples that were married would come to us for advice. Not that we know everything, but just the fact that we are genuine in talking to people, in being honest and transparent with, you know, our story, and letting people know that it's not always glitz and glamour. And there is a lot of times that you're going to have to really sit down and have real conversations, you know. So I believe that our purpose is for people, is to love on people and to be genuine with people in our integrity.
Mynisha J. Rogers, minister, entrepreneur, and author of the Healing Network book states, "The key to believing, receiving, and maintaining our healing is found in our network, which consists of the FAR principle: faith, action, and relationships." She reminds us that God still heals. He healed before, He is healing now, and He will heal again. So now is the time to believe, receive, and maintain your healing. Get your copy today.
Aha is when you begin the trail, you get on the tarmac, you go down the runway, your plane takes off, the world opens up. There's nothing that we can't do. And I want to make sure she know that I am the power to make sure she can.
With us being here, of course, it was a little hard. We both were homesick, but it caused us to, you know, just grow closer together, you know, praying together. We were feeling some type of way about, you know, finding a new church home, because we were, you know, still stuck in Jacksonville. But one of the bishops, Bishop Carolyn Love, she had already, you know, sent word ahead that, hey, I have a couple. They're going to be moving to South Carolina. I've already told them what church to go to. So, you know, God had already ordered our steps. It was already, everything was already prepared for us. It was just us being a little scared because, you know, we're going to be biased. Like, no, you know, I want my, you know, that's my pastor, and they're going to always be my pastor. That's going to always be my church. But that wasn't in the plan for us. Like, of course, you know, that's always going to be, you know, our heart, but God had another assignment for us.
Yeah, coming here, making it over to our church, now heart to heart, getting received with open arms. You can feel the love from day one. Everybody was the same. No change.
Like it felt like
home.
Felt like home. Like, okay, this kind of feeling like Jacksonville. You know, I'm really feeling this. You know, of course, I'm looking at people sideways. I just don't know you. Yeah. I'm just trying to, you know, figure out, you know, who everyone was. But now that, you know, we're there, you know, we have connected with so many wonderful people. And even now we're like the team leaders. Lord help us. Y'all pray for us with the team. So that is also, you know, another part of our purpose as well. And it's so funny because now, even though as of right now, we're not meeting together physically, we still will see, you know, the teens like
out in the streets,
down the streets, you know, at the store or something. And of course, we get to talking. And then it's like, okay, now you know you're wrong. You know, we end up, you know, giving them advice like, hey, you need to pray about that. Like, what are your options? Okay, if those are your options, then, you know, put it before God. You know what you want to do. but what is God's will? So that's another one of our purposes as well.
Watching her take care of me, you know, that showed me an inner strength that I didn't even realize that I had. I didn't even know I possessed that type of strength. I was so selfish as a person, and in my own you know, ways, that I didn't even know I possessed that. But when she got sick and she started going through some of the same emotions that I was going through, the depression, and because remember, she became the breadwinner. So when she got sick and her health started declining, she started experiencing some of the same emotions and feelings that I was going through. And, you know, I never tried to make her feel bad for what she was going through. She never tried to make me feel bad for what I was going through when I was sick, and I didn't do that to her either. I never looked at it as a competition. I looked at it as, what can I learn from this? How can we grow? How can we get stronger? Because ultimately, you know, we're gonna die. You know, ultimately at the end of the day, we're gonna leave here. You know, so how can we get strong and become closer, and let our love just shine as a beacon to others? And this was just like such a trying moment. It was such a trying time that I wanted to give up. I could see it in her face. I'm like, she want to give up, but if she give up and I give up, we lost hope. So you know, it was difficult,
But it made it worth it.
but it made it, but it you took the words right out of my mouth, girl.
I believe it's having to tell our story
Yeah.
over and over and over again, not knowing or understanding why people come to us. And I think that was when we realized that, it was like a defining moment. It's like, why people always, you know, come in and talk to us? Why people always asking us questions? And, you know, when we finally realized that, and we kind of like looked at each other like, what is it? You know, why are people attracted to come and talk to us all the time? And
Or maybe it's because
your business is your business, and you know it's not going anywhere. That's
it could
for
be
one.
that too.
Yeah.
But then you got to also understand too that perfection. People question perfection.
That's good.
People
That's good.
question
That's good.
perfection. So if you always camera ready, you always got the right thing to say, you always know the right response, I would question that.
That's good.
I question that. So people, they understand perfection. They're gonna question that. And for me to give you an answer or give somebody an answer of, man, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But let's talk about
But
it.
yeah, we
you
can
know?
talk about it, or you know what I mean. I can tell you what happened to me or to us, but I don't know. Every situation is different. But
Right.
if you always got the right thing to say, and this
Right.
is my opinion, you know what I mean. So the journey is just be transparent and just
Right.
you know, be able to help somebody. That's all.
Be willing to help
Be
somebody.
willing to help somebody.
Yeah.
Again, being there for people. You know what I mean. So.
I want to be a part of bringing excellent and compelling content to life. From finding talent as a casting director to producing strong projects for television and film. There's something amazing and beautiful when the casting director can help usher the actor into transforming into a character, helping them to see and be the character, understanding the character's life story without seeing a face because they're the face.
You happy? I thought when I gave myself up, that was enough for you to be happy. But obviously not. Obviously not.
My purpose is a gift from God, and I'm honored and humbled by it. Oprah Winfrey once mentioned that you know you're doing what you're purposed to do when you can do it for hours on end. I'm excited to be able to live in my purpose and bring Simone Baldwin Productions to serve and deliver.
I was always told when I was young, you can never be a winner until you lost to understand when you won.
First and foremost, there is nothing too hard for God. Like, seriously, God can pull you out of that dark place, but you have to be willing to do the work. He's standing there. It's just up to you to utilize him. That's one. Two, if you need to get into counseling, get into counseling. If it's, couples counseling, that's something that we did, and as well as individual counseling. There could be something underlying that could be causing the rift or that hurdle, depending on, especially, if you come from different households. Sometimes how you raised can cause conflict. And thirdly, for, that really helped us, is having those accountability partners, having somebody that you can just turn to, say what you got to say, and they tell you that you're wrong. You don't want the friend that's going to tell you that's going to be that yes man and always, oh yeah, you right. No, girl, you wrong. Boy, you wrong. And you need to get it right. No, you need to apologize. You better go out there, take that girl out to dinner, buy her some flowers or whatever she like. Do what you need to do. If you're going to save your relationship, do what needs to be done. And like go hard, like for real. You can't like slacken it, because any how they say, if you give somebody an inch, to take a mile. You can't get the devil an inch at all. He will use those small foxes, those for me it was those little things of, that I would hear something that, he would say something, and how I heard it was totally different, and that was used against me and against us. So really don't leave any room for the enemy just to come in and continuously destroy what you guys have already built.
Well,
I think it was more of trying not to define what
Right.
a husband was
Right.
and what a wife was by means that the world gives you standards.
right,
And
we became interchangeable pieces.
we had to be able to
Yeah.
move throughout life learning that sometimes no title or the title of child of God was all you needed.
Right.
You didn't have to say, well, I'm the wife, listen to me.
And
I'm the husband, follow me.
Right.
It was being able to realize that it doesn't matter who we are as people. If we put God first and God is ordering your steps, then you're not following me. You're following what God wants you to do.
Right.
And when you realize that in a marriage, then everything shifts so that it's not mine or yours. It's ours.
It's ours.
And God is really, really good at telling you when what you're doing is right or wrong. If you're doing it right, the blessings will continue to come. If you're doing it wrong, you'll get the blessing, but he'll take it right back. It's like, or he'll dangle it almost, as if he's saying you're going in the right direction, but if that's not how you do it. Like
Right.
you have to change this attitude, or you have to change this ideology, or you have to change how you say it in order to get my blessing.
And that's something that I'm still working on, because I'll give you an example. I'll buy a comb. Oh my God. I'll buy a comb, and when she says ours, she really means ours, because I'll buy a comb and it's my comb for my beard. And she'll grab the comb, and I'll be looking for the comb for 3 or 4 days trying to find the comb. She'll have it on her side, because to her
But if
it's
he just
ours.
asking for the comb, I'll tell you
To
what.
her, it's ours. But to me, it's mine. But she's right. But you know what I do to how I solved that problem? I went and bought 5 combs, exactly the same, 5 combs. And I keep one head over here, and I keep one head over there. And when she want to grab that one, she can grab that one, then I go and get it. But guess what? Somehow or another, she still end up with all 5 of them combs.
But look how God
because
ordered money
because it's
to buy the 5
because it's
combs.
ours. So that's a lesson that I'm still learning, that it's ours. But I'm telling you, it's working. It works. And what she's saying is true. It is ours. We do have to look at it as ours, and we have to own up to it. It's not just mine's. So yeah, you all right.
Gotta share all of it.
Yeah, you all right.
You can be the husband tomorrow.
All right.
I definitely would tell them worse will come.
And I would say, don't give up on each other.
Yeah.
If you know for sure that you are destined to be together,
don't give up on that. Because the grass is not always greener on the other side. How about that?
And how you respond to it is how you can be victorious over it.
What's the glue? What's the glue? I can answer that?
Yes.
Okay. The glue. Well, from time to time throughout the marriage, we've needed some sort of adhesive within our relationship and within our marriage. But the glue. So I answered in this way. G, the first letter, is for who I put first in my life, who is God. God has been with us throughout this entire time, and we've been together for 53 years. We've married for 51 years. But God has been there from the beginning. And he's been everything to us. He's been Jehovah Shalom, our perfect peace, good times or bad. He's been Jehovah Rapha, our healer in times of sickness, whether it was physical sickness or whether it was a sick circumstance within the relationship. He's just been there to heal us. He has been Jehovah Jireh, our provider. Never been hungry, never went hungry. His lips were never white. He's been Jehovah Gabor, God that contends with those that contend with us and those things that would come against us. He has been there for us, our biggest champion, and we can't thank him enough. The next would be L. L for like and love. Love, yes, but before that, there was like, because if we didn't like each other, we wouldn't have proceeded, right? You think?
Right.
We wouldn't have proceeded to even get that far as to love each other, because you have to have a foundation, and we liked each other. Then we started talking. We liked where each one of our heads were as far as going forward to future times. And then it started getting more serious, making commitments, that knowing that we would want to be at the end of a set goal, we want to be there together, that we were going to be in this thing together. And so then the love grew because it had a stronger foundation, and at times we had to grab onto that foundation, because things will come after you. Once you make that commitment, once you make it to God and to yourselves, that you're going to love each other, you're going to get attacked. It's no doubt about it. And you're going to know that you're going to have to put on your adult drawers and get into trenches and fight and pray for what is yours, and that you would make it out on the other side of the storm. You'd make it out together. So you, understanding of both parties, that knowing that each one has different ways of ideas of doing things, and that nobody, I'm not always right, he's not always right, but you come together and you agree. You find some kind of agreement, but you understand that you have to respect each other, and show each other, have a good balance, and show each other that they are valuable. Then you have E, which is ecstasy. Keep the home fires burning, y'all. We are in our 70s, and we know that the 20-year-old Earl and Beverly no longer, they're in the past, no longer swinging on the chandeliers and flying around on the ceiling fan, leaping off of the dresser. All of that is gone. But you still have to keep the home fires burning. And we tap into our GPS.
Right.
And our GPS is basically the same as a natural GPS. You want to get to a certain destination. And both of our destinations are in common, so we know what that is. So we just sit back, hit the go button, enjoy the ride, and the next stop will be ecstasy. So, how'd I do?
You do good.
You think it's good?
All right.
All right. That's it. The glue.